Over the course of this semester, I have learned a lot about photography and how to make a photo more interesting to the viewer's eye. I have found that different uses of color and light can truly make the biggest impact on a photo and how interesting it is to the viewer. I think that a lot can be done with lines, and I tended to use a lot of lines in majority of my portfolio to show emphasis and bring emphasis to the subject of the photo. And let's get into it. So for the first picture, it was the portrait project, and for this project I chose to take photos of one of my best friends, Cece. She was on a rooftop, and we used these leading lines of this corner to really almost like a 2-point perspective as well, to place her in the center of that 2-point perspective to bring emphasis to her, helped just bring more interest to the eye. I also posed her in a way to create triangles with her arms and legs to try to use the golden rule and triangles and to bring more interest to the photo itself. For the second photo, it was the composition project. And for this project, I decided to actually stick with the theme of taking pictures around my dorm room. And I called this photo Leading Vines, and as a play on words to represent leading lines. I thought that these greenery vines were almost acting as leading lines, as all the attention pretty much goes to the green hanging basket because of the contrast between the green and the muted colors around it. But I thought that the green, as you look down it, brings attention to the colorful artwork on the wall and really draws the viewer's eye to the top right corner, and then allows them to almost read it like a book and follow the flow of the picture downward. In the third photo, I chose to take a picture in the hotel that we were staying at with the women's basketball team. I saw this 2-point perspective in the breakfast nook of the hotel, and saw that where these two walls came together came to two different directions but met at one point. And I tried to put the center of the 2-point perspective off center and of the actual photograph to try to bring interest and elongate the left portion of the picture and just bring emphasis to really the West Virginia artwork at the end of the booth, and how it really draws the viewer's eye to the focal area of the artwork and really uses perspective to make the photo more interesting. Throughout the hotel, there was actually a lot of places where there were 1-point perspective and 3-point perspective, but this photo seemed to be the best use of light as well. As you see, it's kind of window light or with some shadows around the gold backsplash. In the fourth photo, in the light project, I chose to drive around majority at night to try and play with light and see how much contrast could be created from a dark sky and the window lighting of light bulbs in a dark sky. So as I passed by the soccer field, I saw the field lights that were shining and the snow was falling, and you can just only see the snow in the spot where the field light was shining, and it really brought attention to the snow itself and really created that contrast between the dark sky and the light, using that dappled window light effect that each of the field lights is actually showing. The back two field lights in the background, you can really see the depth of field as you see the smaller field lights look farther away. This field light is very much closer. It's in the midground. And you can really see that the sign to the field is in the foreground of the image, with it being the biggest thing in the subject. You can tell it's closest to you. And I just think that the light really emphasized the most important elements of the picture, like the snow and the sign. In the final photo was the black and white project, and this project was really fun to work on because I chose to take pictures majority in the locker room and in the gym to kind of follow a basketball theme. And this picture ended up being my favorite because of the depth of field and how the background was blurry, but the foreground was in so much focus. Also, the black and white effect really helped distill the image down to its most important elements. So the ring, the championship ring in the very front of the picture really brought emphasis to that being the focal point, with the basketball shoes in the background more blurry and out of focus. That really brought emphasis to the ring, but still kept the basketball theme with the shoes in the background. And it really just helped show the important values of this picture and how the rule of thirds the golden rule and the rule of thirds could be used, with the ring being slightly to the bottom right corner and the basketball shoes being in the top left corner. So this was a really interesting picture to me, but overall I have learned a lot in this class and how to use the golden rule and composition, as well as contrast, light, and perspective to truly make a picture more interesting to the viewer and allow for emotion and a story and a theme to be kept and told among pictures without any words ever spoken or said. So I loved this class and learned a lot from it, and look forward to see how I use the skills in the future.